Welcome, welcome. Today I've got a great idea for you. It's just fabric pattern combination. Very simple to do. It's what I've got on. I'm using pattern number 197, Kendosa's top. Nina Kendosa is a designer, a French designer out of Paris. And originally I saw this top and I just fell in love with it. Actually, and it can be a dress, it can go either way. But the whole idea is there's a blouson on top, and of course what's underneath, you'll look thinner because of this blouson on top. I belt it. You don't see the belt, but I feel like it brings in underneath. I split the sides here in this case just to kind of give it a shirt tail look. And then I think it's a great way to combine velvet, which is what I've done the top out of jeans on the bottom. So I think it's a home run. I don't think it has any age defiance, and I'm going to kind of walk you through it. So the first thing I want to do is show you some photos. I've got about 9 photos I want to run through with you. And the main reason is all these photos are within the last 2 weeks. Everything's current, everything's on trend, because there's so many little changes you could do. At first I thought, oh, I'll make all these, and I thought, I don't need to do all that. I'll just show you photos and make one. So the very first one is really where I got my inspiration. You're going to have a knit on top, and you notice the woven and the shirt tail on the bottom. So it's great because the underneath part of Kendosa's top is just a tank top. So just kind of remember that because it's a tank, but it's knit, you might want to add a little bit to it, and I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. We've got great stripes for this shirt tail look. The one I've got on is fabric number 1994. We've got 1984. A plaid would be beautiful to bring in at this point in time. And then 2009. They're all just great woven stripes and perfect for this bottom portion. And again, all I did was I made it a little bit bigger. I'll show you how to do that. And then I put slits in the side and I curved the bottom so that it would look more like a shirt per se. I just love it. I mean, I just love it. All right, this next photo, I just wanted you to see the bottom portion again because it's a tank top on the bottom. You could fringe it. You could do so many fun things with that bottom portion. And fringe, of course, is a home run right now. The next one is lace. And you can see, again, with lace, it's just so popular to make that bottom portion out of a lace. We've got some beautiful laces right now, brand new. Some by J. Mendel that are absolutely stunning. The next one here, you're seeing a sheer. We see some sheer fabrics and we think, oh, what do we do with this sheer? I had one in mind that I just saw the other day. This one right here. Just really pretty fabric combination. You see, you could take something like this and put it underneath the velvet. This is number 1937. You only need a yard of whatever it is you're buying. And again, it's just a little tank, and it doesn't have to be knit. It can be woven. There's just a few things, and like I said, when we get to the pattern, we'll take care of that. This next one is Eileen Fisher. So again, you can see that this is all really current and trendy. They tied the bottom portion. As you can see, the top portion is a woven. In our case, we're going to do it in a knit. But again, I just wanted you to see some differences. This next one's Lisa Todd. So what you're seeing is a fabric, and then the bottom. So it's really a way to bring in knits and wovens together in a look that originally done so that it looked like you had a shirt tail hanging out of the top, which is just a really stylish look right now. There's no age defiance. There's nothing like that to worry about. This next one is St. John, so you know. I mean, these prices are getting up to $400, $500, $600 for these tops. This next one is over $1,000. So I wanted you to see you could go to all kinds of detail. You notice that what they did is the black knits are hanging out below. So you don't have to go to that much detail. You could just do a plaid on top and then a plaid knit, and then just do a solid black in between and give you a very similar look. And then of course this last one I did because just again to show you all the differences of fabrics that are used and how close it is to the bottom. That's a cashmere, but just beautifully done. So let's talk fabrics. Again, pattern number 197. We'll have free shipping on it all weekend on this pattern so that you can really take advantage of that. But I wanted to use velvet, and I wanted to use velvet because velvet is such a strong trend right now. So pick your color velvet, pick the stripe that goes along with it, and you can see we've got a lot of shirt material fabrics that are just wonderful. And when you go to pick your fabric, you're going to need a couple yards. just because you can't flip the pieces. Typically on our layout of this pattern, we flip the pieces. Because of the nap of this, you can't. When you're working with velvet again, just, hold it up. And what you'll see is a completely different color when you hold it one way versus when you hold it the other way. Now, typically, the way that is correct is the darker way. Doesn't mean you have to do that. It just means that that's typical. But again, it depends on, do you want the light reflecting or do you want the light, just depends on what you want. There's no right and wrong. But I will say I really haven't seen a case where the front was done one way and the back was done another way. Even with all of our breaking of the rules in ready to wear today, it's really a mistake not to do it front and back the same direction. And then make sure, I put the cuff here, make sure when you're doing the cuffs that you lay it the same way also, so that you get it, again, I guess if you wanted to, you could put it the opposite way. See, that's the beauty of having, of sewing. You get to do whatever you want. When we take a look at the pattern, typically we're dealing just as the tank top underneath. You would put this along the fold. So what I'm going to suggest to you is pull this out just slightly from the fold if you're dealing a woven, and it will give you enough at the bottom. Or else, if the bust, depending on the measurement and the size you're using, but if the bust is really close to what you are, pull the whole thing out and just add it center front. Because it's a knit, again, you can add up to 1 inch at center front and you're going to be fine. Check the measurements of the pattern versus you, because this tank top's got to go around. But for me, my top was okay. I had enough. So all I did is I pulled this out at the bottom, added it there, and then I did the same thing to the back. And then I only sewed down just below the French dart. There's a French dart here on the side, but I just sewed just below that French dart so that I could have it slit. I wanted it to look like a shirt tail. The other thing I did is I curved the bottom. So you want it shorter on the side, just take your French curve, lay it down, and just raise it up. And I raised it up about 1 inch on the sides, and it's just a fun look. It's just fun. Again, because the fabrics, the velvets, all of those things are really trendy, it really is a very current look that everyone can wear. Happy sewing from Silhouette Patterns.